Never seen such an awesome man. The roof is made of golden boulders. Build a grand sanctuary. Not only will wild bees be raised at home, it is also developing terraces in front of the door. Enjoy a feast of fish and crab every day. Live in the wilderness. To escape a heavy rain, Brother Zhang accidentally discovered a place outside under this huge rock. And that was his hideout. Brother Zhang said nothing. Immediately clear the weeds in front of you. Wash a delicate face. Eat a few wild fruits by the way. The construction of the house begins. The first thing to do is to make room under the boulder. He took out his ancestral hammers and chisels. Pry open the stone that has been sleeping for thousands of years. These stones are not wasted. Spread out a playground in front of the door. After 3 days and 3 nights of clearance, there is a place to flex your muscles. The canes of the forest are everywhere. Brother Zhang found the most beautiful batch. This big and 3 rough man has hands more dexterous than women. You weave a little basket. With the means to run transportation, with a keen sense of smell, he discovered the hidden clay. This is good material for building a house. 400 wotu without a year. You become completely drunk. That's what gets the mud up. Building blocks layer by layer. A pair of iron hands is both a hammer and a plaster. The entire wall is smooth and smooth. And of course, where to sleep should be given priority. All building materials except stone are mud. The main thing is a 0 cost. He came to the stream in a flash, with a pair of vicious eyes. You can find gem pieces at the bottom of the wall. After all, he is a person who has eaten 8 dishes on the level of Thailand construction site. Brother Zhang wants to say that the second person dares a batch of gemstone pieces is like negotiating. Obediently joined together. Not only is it soft and comfortable, the bed has a luxurious countertop. And when Brother Zhang went to pee, accidentally discovered a tree hole. There are actually wild bees active in here. The scheming Brother Zhang has a crooked mind. He got a piece of stone, sealed the tree hole with mud. Only a small hole is left to vent air. What is the purpose of this operation? We have to marvel to see the back. Then he cut open a century-old tree. Carry the recast section home first. Through some knocking. Cut out a shit. Smear a layer of clay inside, and it became an oven for cooking on fire, and another sturdy stump. It's a luxury with seat. Brother Zhang, who hasn't bathed in a month. Now you can take a spring bath with peace of mind, but take a shower with clothes on. It's like putting some kind of gas through your pants. Totally superfluous. Wilderness people can't live without food for a moment. As a wild king, how could the gentle bamboo shoots escape his eyes? Soon the small bamboo shoots will be put into the small bag. Take off their coats. Became the protagonist of tonight's dinner. Next he was exposed as a liar. Stuff the bamboo tube with a small bamboo cage, loaded with the fish's favorite earthworm. Lay a net of heaven and earth under stones and water. Prepare to end the fish in this area in one pot. Waiting for the silly fish to enter the cage, Brother Zhang makes complex cooking from simple ingredients. Pour the bamboo shoots with a layer of tomato juice. The sour crisp and refreshing feeling is really cool. The renovation project of Shifang is progressing. The interior has been sewn and mended, and there is more and more. The walls are made of pure stone, although every stone is numb. But after being carved by Zhang, more regular than regular bricks, neater than neat bricks. The design of the kitchen is also important with clay stones and sticks. I made a smooth stove in seconds. In particular, a support frame. As the walls continue to rise, smoke onions and doors and windows must be reserved, all arranged with stones of different sizes. These colorful stones. It's a painted landscape. The corners are layered with small stones, form a 2-meter-tall super shallot, harmonious and unified with the whole building. After a busy morning, it's tea time. Picking a few leaves is the best wild fragrant tea. The ichthyosaur trap. It's time to close the net. There are overbearing crabs and sleek loach. But because of gluttony, all reduced to Brother Zhang's appetizers, it can completely supplement his consumption for a few days. The megalithic shelter was completed perfect. Brother Zhang will start a new plan immediately. Don't worry about breakfast. Basho's inner tube is enough. He flashed to the spring. Find a talented gem blocker. Assign them to work uniformly. After some teaching, become an excellent floor tile for 10 rooms, forever trampled on by Brother Zhang. The square in front of the house is an image project. Anyway, free stones don't need to be white. It's just a little bit harder. More brain cells die. Can build cobblestone stairs. Match your identity as a king. He scavenged for sand and gravel. Lay out the square in front of the door. The whole building, inside and outside. All achieve stone integration. The main thing is a character card. He sneaked up on the last big tree. The hole in the tree that he sealed was exactly as he expected. Wild bees are coming in and out. This scene, he hummed a little tune and got all worked up. Although the square year is 35, Brother Zhang has 40 years of experience as a carpenter. Cut out a batch of straight planks with your eyes closed. After further peeling, reuse bamboo shoot structure technology. Create a delicate wooden door. Even the handle of the door, to polish so domineering. There are gaps, all blocked with clay. Never let a word out of the house. I don't understand the next operation. He made a wooden box out of the leftover wood. Made a few more wooden frames. Put it back and forth with thin bamboo strips in the middle. Row after row into wooden boxes. Cover the wooden box again. This unlucky coffin. What is his use? Next, Brother Zhang has a big move. I saw him demonstrate the kung fu at the general family. I made a firework with bamboo sticks. In the blink of an eye, a bamboo plate is made. He went to the floor of the bee's house, uncovered the stone that sealed the door before. A huge beehive appeared before his eyes. As a biology major, Brother Zhang quickly identified the queen bee and put him into a bamboo tube alone, then connected the bamboo plate, attract all the worker bees to the queen bee, successfully brought home a swarm of wild bees. Looking at the separated hive, Brother Zhang can't help but cut off to satisfy the taste buds. The rest is fixed on the wire box, creating a new home for wild bees. And there is a gap at the bottom of the wooden box. Become the gateway to the bee family. Eating a crab feast every day, and wild bees work for him. Brother Zhang's life is sweet and sweet. I have more energy to do things. He dug the slope in front of the door into terraces, while Taro dug up from the jungle, planted in the first row in front of the gate. Enjoy the highest standard of treatment, and below the terraces, sprinkle a batch of bamboo bean seeds. The days in the wilderness are full of hope. When everyone else is struggling to survive, this man in the wilderness is having a good time. He hollowed out the inside of a cliff cave. Not only does it burn from scratch, created a luxurious cliff shelter, even live a life of immortality. Because big cities can't roll, Aniu sets his sights on the wilderness. This cliff has hard soil. It's the perfect place to settle down. To prevent the attack of beasts, the house had to be built 3 stories high. For the convenience of construction, he uses the bamboo shoot connection method. Seconds made a ladder for weighing corners, then turn into a humanoid excavator, pulls out a 2-meter high square hole, and dig up a bedside closet, and a place to cook with the fire. This synaptic groove, and it's a channel to the chimney, and underneath the stove. He also specially cut out a cross channel. Let the heat of the stove circulate internally. Even if it snows, it won't be cold. He found a big roll of rattan. Relying on the craftsmanship of the general family, you weave a basket. Go to the second-hand vegetable market to find some gem blocks. Laying above the heating channel. Seal with clay. Leave no gap. Don't let a little exhaust gas in the room. After all, safety comes first. I came here to save my dog's life. He split a piece of wood, hollow out the internal structure, hit 3 sticks on the ground, build a makeshift cooktop, burn a cup of pine oil, glue 2 pieces of hollow wood together. I made a cigarette scallion in seconds. Aniu is always focused on bamboo sheet structure technology. I connected some sticks with sawdust, build a workbench. Very convenient for processing wood, with a pair of vicious eyes. Cut out pieces of straight wood, then saw the corresponding bayonet. Connect into several boxes through the bayonet. He embedded sticks in the square box, forming a lattice. The surface is covered with another layer of clay. Form a set of steel dragon-like designs. Gather a small circle of equal length. Insert the corresponding position of the grid into the square. What's the point of such a platoon? And the other long box. Operate in the same way. The light that touches does not slip like big gold bars. It finds its way into a thick wooden block. Hollow out to form a square groove. It's a brick-to-brick mold. To save energy, each brick is twice its usual size. Under the sun, it becomes a veritable gold brick. And then some kind of banging on the wood. Through different bamboo shoot structure, a decent door frame. You just keep going up that ladder. Prepare the materials for building the wall and drink a pot of Ergodo's mud. You get really drunk. Just enough to lift the mud up the wall. A pair of iron hands acts as both a hammer and a plaster. The entire brick wall soon reach knee-high. And the square is full of little logs. It's for stove frying. Wait until the wall splashes to the waist. Put on a grand window. The whole roof frame is hairy and looks like a sparrow, although complete internal organs. Wilderness people can't live without food for a moment. Aniu connects the wooden sticks vertically and horizontally. Use prepared materials. A whole set of fishing equipment in the blink of an eye. Dozens of small fish hooks fell all over. This is to drive the fish from this area. It means to kill. With an ancestral sense of smell, he can uncover the secrets of the underground. These native potatoes. Barbecue overhang. There is a wild lunch. It solves the bait problem. Put bait on each hook. Like the way the stars light up. What a knife in the ass. That was a real eye-opener. Aniu rolls up his trousers, showing fair calves. Make a platform out of stones from the bottom of the river. Put the explosive fish hook on it, just waiting for the gluttonous silly fish to take the bait. Aniu humming a ditty, passing by a piece of mango. These fine herbs are wonderful. Spread on the ground as a mattress. Completely cured of insomnia, kicked out of the house by his question. See in the mealtime. The hooks in the river should also be closed. Don't look at these little loaches motionless. In fact, they're plain dead, because after being hooked, they were exhausted from the struggle. Instead of hopeless tossing, better to lie still. Anyway, it's too late to regret. Sooner or later it will become a history of the heroic death. Receiving fierce gun smoke in the chimney. Life is not great, but death is also glorious. Aniu, who is full of food and drink, lying on the fragrant and soft chicken. Soon thunder. There is also a special plan today. He uses a poo stick to dig out a stove fry, build a fire outside the house. A few baskets of bark from the woods, burned to ashes. He used the basket as a chopper, sipped out more delicate plant ash, soft with clay. Spread out into a pancake-like lump of, and I cut them into rectangles with a poo stick. It becomes a piece of tile soil. Select the highest quality firewood, burning fiercely for 48 hours. Time to fire tiles. Aniu stripped off a group of corsets. With the eyes of Master Luban, you can cut the position of God. Pieces of wood are like machine cutting. According to different needs, excretes different sizes, and make a whole bunch of wooden shoes. Connect the boards firmly. Form a thing that can be flipped. It's embedded in the closet like this. It's a folding table. After all, the space where every inch this design is more reasonable. So, do the same thing. Make different sizes of wooden slats and boards, and connected by sawdust. Another collapsible stool. This is an 18th generation carpenter's craft. No joke at all. Look at the production level of this window. The detail of the rotating shaft is really rotary wooden bolts between the two windows and doors. This exquisite carpentry skill. Even Mr. Lubin will wake up laughing. The next processing is a little different. He knocked the wood out of the corner shape. The bamboo shoot structure is knocked out at both ends. Pieces of wood form a grooved frame. This frame is tailor-made for the roof. Put a layer of plank on the grooved card. Bond it to each other with pine oil. Add a layer of blind machine on top. Play a moisture-proof and mildew-proof effect. And the tiles of the logo are also freshly baked, but it's not on the roof, but as the floor tiles in the house. The indoor space is instantly upgraded several levels. There is another important project that follows. Continue to splice the slats and boards with sawdust. The carpenter's memory is superb. You start by making a strip of doors, then lay the tracks on it. We put planks on top of it, forming a long wooden box. A sliding ladder is tucked in the middle. Attach the rope at one end. It turns out that this mysterious thing, it is a 2-in-1 door made by Aniu. Drag it down with a rope. It becomes a ladder to go upstairs, tucked away in a door. He harvests the most potential grapes. Tie a knot at both ends with a rope. Weave 108 poles into a straw mat. This will not only keep the winter warm, sleep soundly, and with peace of mind. As the saying goes, learn mathematics, travel the world, physics and chemistry. Aniu continuously calculates the cylindrical wooden barrel. After splitting and combining again, it actually forms a cylinder with an intermediate square hole. He cooked a cup of pine oil. Fill the square holes in the cylinder with base and sling. It forms an artistic main platform. Light the candlestick to start the new house dinner. Not only grilled loach, an onion and tomato salad with fresh noodles made with potato flour. Wilderness life happy no-no. This is the ceiling that the wilderness has built. The man who was kicked out of the house by his wife with 6,000 round sticks in an exquisite arc-shaped way. He built an art villa with his bare hands. How on earth did he do it? Because the right foot is advanced. The dog was kicked out of the house by his wife. He decided to build a forest villa. In the future, I will change to a daughter-in-law. Dug up a local tyrant on the hillside, centered on a spade. Take the rope as the radius. Plan to arcs with wild circles. Set the position with your eyes. It's on the circle route. Dig a few symmetrical square holes. He came to the forest with kindness. Invite a dozen promising tree brothers. Let them use every to groups. In order not to have a 0.1 millimeters off, he jammed the position of the hole with small stones. Ensure 100% stability of the 7 sets of columns. Brother Dog accidentally discovered no one cares about the trees on this barren mountain. Free things don't need to be white. So I took the opportunity to carry back a log. Follow them to a uniform length. Cut each one into 31.4 centimeters. Then take out the guy who eats. A chisel, a hammer, and clever hands. Put a piece of honest wood. Knock into a damn bear. It turns out that this stuff is used for transportation. With the trajectory of this generation of ants, this wild king sees it at a glance. There must be red clay within 10 paces. Sure enough, the senior red clay, hiding 18 generations of ant families. However, Brother Dog did not empty the red soil. After all, what it's like to be swept out. He also feels it now. I don't want ants to be homeless like him. After a few sips of stuff he wanted, Brother Dog accelerated the construction of the villa. Pour a pot of Erdwotu on the red soil. Make them really drunk. The mud is just right to hold up the wall. Thousands of little logs are stacked on top of each other like this. Soon a wall is formed. This way of stacking is better than using a cement machine. Bricks are more convenient, and the faces they form, like a pattern inlaid on the wall, filled with the colors of a baroque tree. People who believe in agoraphobia, I will also like his moving heart. In the design of the gate, Brother Dog is still taking the arc route. Bento arches with bamboo slices, filling all around with little logs. It forms a grand arch. The design of the windows is also in the same vein. The main thing is the integrated arch style. The following construction. Brother Dog's height of 1.6 meters is a bit. He made a step-by-step ladder in seconds, so that the superstructure can be arranged properly. Half a day. Semicircular wooden walls rise from the ground. And on the left-hand side of the villa, he developed another piece of land. Finds rows of large and small corsets. The light of the wooden board will not slip away, petal by petal. There is a king's spiral staircase. Next, the dome. First knock holes at both ends of the trunk, then use some wood to break it. We have a solid roof framework. Put beams in rows. You make a plane out of cylinders, and on this plane, and then 9 stories of small round wood. It's like having a semicircular fence. Put a layer of cassava inside. Fill the hole with yellow mud. Use the ancient valve head to constantly consolidate. An open-air balcony is visible to the naked eye. A wilderness man must never go hungry for 3 meals. Eat well for dinner. Brother Dog has to do his preparations early. He repaired a few pieces of bamboo, sneaking into the jungle. This simple and honest man, it was connected with a piece of bamboo and a string, set a food trap. And there were 5 or 6 ambushes. It's like casting a net. Looks like no prey. This cunning man will never give up. Time to wait for prey to be set. Brother Dog installed marble tiles for the balcony. The entire balcony was immediately upgraded. He made the edge of the bed with sticks, filled with loess. Put another layer of wooden floor, a soft solid with bed at night. Since you are looking for a new daughter-in-law in the city, mud ash is never allowed on the ground in the house. After all, it is a person who eats 8 dishes. There is no doubt that Brother Dog laid bricks. You can do it with your eyes closed. 10 pieces fit together like a negotiation. And then we connect the plank to the stick. He built a split seat and a split dining table in the corner of the balcony. He also designed a special oven. The whole layout has the temperament of outdoor camping. Start with a pot of lemonade. To the forest to harvest their prey, the poor quails. It's too late to regret being gluttonous. Grilling over the fire. Instead, it became the mouth of Brother Dog. On the top bar of the villa, sipping tea while barbecuing, the life of the dog brother being kicked out of the house. Just as delicious. And with this blind art villa, a new daughter-in-law in the city is just around the corner. Never seen such an awesome man. Challenged the primeval jungle for 500 days with nothing. Not only did he burn bricks with his bare hands, he also made his own bell fishing gear to catch the uncle. Growing bonsai crops on the water. Enjoy a grilled fish burger meal every day. Live a savory wilderness life. Rattan of the rainforest can be seen everywhere. Aniu starts from here. Take out the craftsmanship of the general family. Made up a delicate demise. With an ancestral sense of smell, he unearthed a hidden clay patch. This fine sticky soil. It's the perfect choice for making earthen pots. Look at this big and 3 rough man, but with hands more dexterous than a woman's. In the blink of an eye, he took out a clay pot. Next, he used rotary drilling wood to remove fire, a fire that burns to the ground in minutes. He brought a pile of clay in a basket. After hammering them to pieces, pour on the river without a year. Live the best Sydney. 8. Use a shit stick to cut out one. The furnace exploded and splashed a furnace half a human height. A wilderness man cannot go hungry for a moment. With a pair of vicious eyes, he saw a piece of rattan wood at a glance. Hidden high-protein tree worms, wrapped in mid-leaf and mud. Throw in the firewood barbecue, and we had a nice lunch. The high energy of this grain, enough to meet the physical exertion of a day. If you eat and drink enough, you will have found the stone that the noble brother threw away. With a little polishing, it becomes a sharp stone axe. With the tools to cut down, beat up the tree brother. Burn a hole with charcoal fire, just enough to put on a stone axe. Remove brother tree's coat again. You have a handle to hold your hand. The front end is tightly bound with braided rope. A king's stone axe was born. With the blessing of the restaurant, building a house is much more convenient. He split a few pieces of wood, through stone chisels constantly polished, plus charcoal blowing. Just a few scrawled bamboo shoot structures, so securely combined. It's a brick-to-brick mold. In order to make the clay better demolding, first, a layer of charcoal ash is sprinkled to prevent another basket with clay. After some beating, it successfully demolded a brick skin. So, do the same thing. Brick after brick was sent to the furnace. Burn with dry firewood for 48 batches of earth bricks are ready to be ordered. And in the time of burning bricks, Aniu squeezed another large capacity earthen pot. While the fire is hot, it can be used to hold all kinds of things. It uses the hammer and noodle method. Made a set of molds out of clay. Tie a vertical skimmer to the front of the stick. Connect the complete set of molds to the furnace body. A fingernail stands up at the front end. Put a stick and string on it. The rotation through the system. I made an Erhu blower. The firepower generated by such blowing and singing. More concentrated, more intense. He went into the woods to collect some dry bark. Burn them to ashes. Screening through emission. You get finer grass ash. Knead into mud balls. Barbecue over the charcoal fire. Next, stack the sticks into hills. After fire burns to 70% or 80%, or another pot of cold water. This open door method. You get a batch of crunchy charcoal. A stove with charcoal adds a higher temperature. This way, the burned grass will be finer. Stir with clay and water. It's more delicate wild cement. He clears the site. He plans the house. Make a foundation with cement and stone. It's time to build the wall. First, pour the tempered adobe bricks with water. Prevent later drying and cracking. It's built layer by layer with cement and bricks. So, you build a wall and you burn the bricks. And make more wild cement. And more charcoal. Aniu is both a contractor and a mason. As a kiln burner or a porter, one person achieved the momentum of an engineering team. A pair of iron hands is both a hammer and a female swing. Soon the brick house was built to the roof. And the interiors had to be built. First solve the problem of sleeping. Through a combination of bricks and soil, a heating channel flows out. Fireplace in front. He cleverly created a northeast soil column. You can kill a lot with one stone. Simultaneous solution for kitchen and bedroom. And then the next kick. Carry back a bunch of promising tree brothers. Become the pillar of his heart. Fix with one pass by one. Then came the highlight moment of Aniu. He made a mold out of bamboo sticks. Pour in clay and beat. Add a touch. Put it by the firewood to bake. There is also a hole in the upper end with a shit stirring stick. When it's 7 minutes dry, put it in the fire and burn it. Batches of crispy tiles are freshly baked. You pull the plant into, and you drape them down from the cylinder into a two-dimensional plane. By repeatedly soaking and torturing strips are strips. Good material for weaving rope. He ran the rope through the hole in the tile. Hit the barren streets with the boat. Fix the whole house in rows like this. Impressive. The main thing is a self-fold cart. With the tiles on the roof, Aniu has to make a different shape, but it's just pediatric for him. While the soil is still soft, and we put them into these curved tunnels that we made. Kung fu of a pot of tea. You can get the shaped curved tiles. After a wildfire, this gives us the cutting-edge shape of the roof. Waterproof and beautiful. Next, he made a large brick membrane. This time the brick skin is required to be thicker because it is to be used for ground construction in the house, although in the wilderness. But you also have to keep the room clean and hygienic. It must not always be full of mud and ash. That would be too wrong. Of course, there has to be a fancy door. Aniu only needs a scoop of ice. Know the size of the door. After he withdrew from the corset of his coat, burn the hole with charcoal fire, put onto wooden pipes. Repair another cart of wood trunk, getting ready for the next assignment. Aniu grinds a circle with tiles, drill a hole in the middle, tie a pointed stone to the front of the stick, with a combination of wooden blocks and rope, with a round counterweight plate. A more elegant rotary drill. This will save effort to complete the splicing of the door panel, installing the rotating shaft on the upper side. A door with a log line props up the facade. He picks beautiful raisins, string tied with rope. I made a straw mat in seconds, and ancestral technology is no laughing matter. It's a perfect match. Everything is tightly controlled by this kid. As the king of the wild, never go hungry for 9 meals. With the skills of climbing trees and retrieving bird eggs, Aniu quickly destroyed an ant nest, hidden high-protein ant eggs. It can fully supplement his physical fitness for a month. With super energy blessing, Aniu is like hyped up. Humanoid excavator. Dig a huge hole in one go, under the crushing of fist. Just build a 3.1 for square pool. The surrounding land is fully tiled. 333 kilograms of stones were confiscated. Build a wall around the house. The layout of the entire new house. Immediately you have the scene of a luxurious courtyard. I saw that he was serious with the tiles. This time he's grinding out for discs and punch holes in each piece. What the hell is going on? He sneaked into the woods. Sneak off the branches of the pine tree. It's a natural adhesive. After heating, several discs are bonded together. It's like a round wheel bear. Circle the rope inside. Explosive vertical hooks attached to the front end. We put up a stand by the river. Attach the round wheel to the top, hanging stones around. Put the earthen pot on the bottom. As long as the silly fish is greedy for screw, you will be hooked by the explosive hook, so as to drag the round wheel and the bell to rotate. Make a sound of nature that is fish food. Aniu can arrive at the scene as soon as possible. Catch big fish. However, these fish will not be eaten immediately. The pool in the courtyard is their home. Next, Aniu has a new move. He squeezed out a canned skin. I actually cut out some holes, and they created a whole series. He divided the purple potatoes into pieces and put them in the clay jar, wrapped in fiber leather, and poured the 92-year-old spring water. After brewing for a while, you get seedlings of purple potatoes. Wear it with bamboo and put it on the water surface of the fish pond. Purple potato. Ecological, organic culture. He picks wild beans, grilled and ground into powder, and you get baked beans. For a cow in the wilderness, simple ingredients actually taste like hamburgers. Aniu who can't worry about food just feed the fish every day. It took more than 400 days to make tea with fragrant leaves unknowingly. From the handsome guy with bangs, became a savage during long hair, under his careful cultivation. And we had a bumper crop of organic purple potatoes. Simple ingredients require complex cooking. Aniu continued to grind the purple potatoes into powder, make an exclusive tile burger, and the silver carp, getting ready to cook a fancy dinner. However, this kind of dinner party is Aniu is like Sun Wukong 72 with many changes. I saw him constantly wearing rattan, revealing the 18th generation killing skills of the ancestors. The cages are woven in the blink of an eye. Is this a cage for cheating fish again? I saw him pass a wooden stick. Combine the two cages together. You prop it up with a little stick in the middle, then connect the rope to the hand. Just pull it. The two cages can be closed immediately. What kind of mechanism is this? I saw him come to a starfruit tree. Put the cage on starfruit. You can put starfruit in the cage with a click. Turns out he built an automatic picker. These tender star fruits are sweet and sour and juicy inside. Tastes like grapes, a combination of mango and lemon. It has high nutritional value. Aniu grilled the fish until half cooked. Remove the fish and make soup with starfruit with a tile purple potato burger. I had a gourmet meal. And a few quail eggs stolen in the woods. Under his scientific incubation, a few baby quails broke out of their shells and grew up with Aniu day by day. After 500 days in the jungle, Aniu will say goodbye. He cleaned the front and back of the house. Looking at the green, the tiles already have moss written all over the years. Never seen such an awesome man. People who have been in the wilderness look like dogs. Not only have they been subjected to various bizarre shelters and taken a sauna at minus 30 degrees, even a hydroelectric life. Since the last time I slept with a snake, Lao Mo has always had psychological He decided to leave the stone house, break new ground. This lush green forest, at a glance, it is a sunny and humid treasure. It's just that water is a big problem. Wilderness people are best at making something out of nothing. I saw him dig a pit as tall as a person, lay a layer of plastic film, make a wood mine cover bag inside, and put a sheet of film on the outside. Correspondingly, the top of the pit is pierced with holes, and I put for piles on the perimeter, so the membranes are woven, with pores in the center and a breathing. It forms a rainwater collector, the perfect solution to the problem of domestic water sources. He suddenly found that the naughty black baby was injured in the hind leg. Warm heart dad doesn't say a word. Rip open your designer clothes. Hurry up and cover the wound for the whole child. After all, dogs matter. He drew plans for the new house on the hillside. Dig out the layers in one breath. Suddenly, a ceramic pot fragment came into view. Heaven has eyes. Bless this hard-working man. The pot is filled with antiques. A bride price enough for the old man to fade again. The excavation of the archaeological class made Lao Mo a ditty song to find flint. This time, he did it differently. The mountain axe clicked down. The flint instantly ignites the surrounding cotton wool. After all, there's a fire source. You get the fireworks of home. Just in time for a timely rain. Rainwater collection stations not only collect rainwater, it also became a temporary shelter from the rain. He tied the rope with a gourd. So, you draw like a natural well. With hot water and a healthy lunch for father and son. Old Mo has to hurry up a plan. After all, it will take a few days for the new house to First of all, we need to make a snack room. The method of stringing wooden sticks into a flat surface. Lao Mo has never read a book. Hanging a bed between two trees in the blink of an eye. Hanging a ladder to the bed at the front. So there you have an aerial shaker in place. It only takes a couple of wiggles. Absolutely the gospel of sleepless nights alone. He tied the black baby with a rope. Are you going to hang your dog for a night? Of course, Dad wouldn't do that. Just use a rope to lift the black baby to the hammock. Father and son can sleep together. I felt refreshed. Lao Mo stepped up the construction of the new house. He is the best at semicircular model. You start with an arc bracket. Looking for a 1,000-year-old stone, mixed with mud through rain. This is a material called cement. Let the cement and the stone be washed and connected. Build the walls of the new house. Considering that the cement is too lazy, I'm worried that the wind will blow over in the middle of the night. Lao Mo ignites firewood barbecue. Let the stones and mud be glued together as soon as possible. Old Mo's ancestor must have participated in the construction of Jiao This guy is all about arch design. Look at this little door. The top should also be made in the shape of an arch. Next is the erection of the roof. Lay a layer of secondhand waterproof film, setting up more copies. Running back and forth for thousands of miles. Spread grass and skin on the roof. Multi-layered protection for the roof. It can achieve natural camouflage. Make sure it's warm and cool in winter. You see this guy arching shadows. Even the windows need to be complete, but it echoes the door. The whole facade is like a baby face. After all, making Kwanzi Hey Wa happy is the most important thing. I saw him planning a circle out of a wild circle. Continued cylindrical cross weaving method. Tie out a round wooden frame, then entangled with a few slender wooden brothers. Form a long cylindrical frame. Turns out he made a shallot. Pierce a hole directly with your fist. Attach the arched frame. It forms a lush hang with a cigarette onion, hugging the pebbles. Look at this exquisite arch shape. I have to change my surname to Lao Mo and call it. But in all fairness, what Lao Mo pays attention to is a self-fold card. You lay the shallots with a layer of deepening cement. Although the appearance is scribbled, not as smooth as an egg, but it is also enough to ensure 3 meals a day for father and son. In order to prevent the beast from hearing the father and son, he completely packed the door in mud. Cover the window with tape. That way there won't be any leak. Temporary housing can also be demolished. The material can also be recycled to make a bed for a new house. Of course, the flat surface of this stick form is standard. He dodged into the woods. Then a large number of reeds. The branches continue to follow the arched frame. He made a special reed bed. But Old Mo is not enough. The whole house has 1 floor up and down. It's a 360-degree decoration. He even brushed the moss off the old tree. Fill all the gaps in the exterior wall, because it's also his favorite green. The whole new house is green. Of course, a new house requires new furniture. A few clicks, a dining table and a desk are enough. After all, chopping firewood. Lao Mo said it was second, and no one dared to say first. But all this is not up to the requirements of the end. He continued to demonstrate his ancestral carpentry skills. Put the deck outfits in front of the house. Connect another backrest. Just make a rough coffee table. And then a layer of cobblestone tiles, garnished with some wild greenery. A standard casual bar is visible to the naked eye. Although living in the wilderness for a long time, but Lao Mo will never treat himself badly. He spotted a batch of promising stones. Throw them into the firewood and heat them. Put it in cold water. The mixture produced by each other is mixed with green grass. Form Tiffany's wild board paint. This is a common color for big-name luxury. Paint all the stones at the gate. instantly enhance the sense of luxury and times. This guy is sweating profusely. Waterways are always unexpected. The next operation has to make people shout 666. He assembled the sticks into a frame, put on a layer of plastic film, then heat up the promising stone. Get a bucket of cold water. It's a portable sauna. The old tomb that hasn't bathed in a month. I took a sauna bath. After steam sauna seamless fireplace room. It's more comfortable than a 5-star hotel. Wrap it in the green quilt cover given earlier. This special warmth is not to mention how sour. 6.66 in the morning, father and son. The two finished radio gymnastics. Come to the mountains. Found walnuts. Just in time for a healthy breakfast. The new home must have a new look. Old Mo uses a vise as a razor. Pull out a few stray hairs like this. The face is much more delicate. But what happens next is kind of funny. You run a little string around the front of the house. Connect directly to the pretend bell. As long as the thin line is tripped, the alarm will be triggered in time. One night without incident. But I don't know that there is a blizzard coming at night. The temperature plummeted to minus 30 degrees. Lao Mo is happy instead. He burned the stone. Call for cold water on this coastal snowfield. Another cold sauna experience. It's even more bloodthirsty. Never seen such an awesome man. The wandering wilderness is actually enjoyable. They don't just build fancy huts. You can also use the river water cleverly to generate automatic capture of wild fish kills two birds with one stone. Lao Mo's family of 4 traveled through the wilderness. Come to a mountain where birds don't shit. He took a glance at this dramatic treasure land. He's going to settle down here. He drew a circle between the stones. It's a bit of taking off your pants and putting some kind of gas. Where are the traces of the circles between the stones? Had to measure by a small foot of 50 yards. Plan the area of the new house. He brought in dirt to level the ground. Go to the river and pour a pot of turbid water. Blend the coarse as cement. Together with the stones form the foundation of the new house. There are all kinds of strange stones, but Mo can learn from each other's strengths. More regular than regular bricks. Neater than neat bricks. Lao Mo has always been a person who pays attention. You have to rest after an hour. Lying down and snoring like thunder. But unexpectedly, a snake got into the clothes. After all, he is the king of the wild. A ghost hand can catch it. However, as a wildlife conservationist, although this uninvited guest can cook a delicious meal, but let him go back to nature. He went back and forth 100 miles, invite a group of ordinary tree brothers, made a shelf with them. It turned out that the snake gave him lingering fears. He wants to build a comfortable bed. He tied the 4 corners of the membrane with stones. I made a transparent quilt in seconds. Tear off the old clothes from 10 years ago. Made the torches out of 2 pieces of cloth. The rest is to build a floor for the 3 children. In this way, it is not afraid of snakes, insects, and beasts sneaking in. Sleep in the sun and bask in the bud. Old Mo shares breakfast with the children. Do radio gymnastics for 1 second. Start the clock in a new day. He dug up a load of silt and slate in the riverbed, combined into a stove. Wawa sees it in her eyes and is happy in her. Today's lunch is definitely something. But it will keep you healthy. Dad's first thought was to boil a pot of boiling water and pick some roadside wildflowers. Brew a cup of wildflower tea. And of course, the kids have breakfast food. Coincidentally, there was a timely rain after lunch. A family of 4 can just hide under the bed, pull up the plastic film as an umbrella. It will be more comfortable to take a nap in the rain. As the head of the family, Lao Mo started working before the rain stopped. He especially cherishes a pair of skillful hands. Wear gloves as a plaster. He splashed the stone to the height of his shoulder in one breath. There were 3 children with him, just full of heart. Lao Mo is naturally handy in building a house. However, his scribbled Makong map, I'm really worried that sleeping until midnight will break him. A man who is exquisite is to attract love. He rounded the edges with curved branches. Create a unique round arch shape. The main thing is one word. A temporary bed can also be used as a ladder. It's very convenient to build a boat with a roof and covered with a layer of fragrant mud. An artistic new house is as beautiful as flowers. As the furniture of the new house bears the brunt, it's a luxury bed. Let a group of wooden brothers line up to walk in Jeonhao Harbor, then lay on the yoga mat given in the early stage, and his favorite green quilt cover. Don't mention how sour this taste is. He does exactly that. This cool wild gate and revolving window, it can be directly filled with a sense of fit with the new house. Every first night in the new house. 6.70 in the morning. In the cheerful anticipation of the children, Old Mo has a new plan. He actually painted mud on the doors and windows of lava. Make sure there won't be any news in the house. Because he values this plot of land very much. In the future, it will be passed down to 3 generations. He put a cobblestone floor on purpose. Makes the front and back of the house look very grand. Moving into a new house requires a sense of ceremony. Give all 3 children a bath. Scrub yourself with a sip of water. Believe in such a baptism and become a bridegroom immediately. Although deep in the wilderness, but you must not treat yourself badly. Old Mo's next move. It will definitely leave you speechless. He leaves them with sticks and planks, fixed on the wooden plate in the middle. It forms an 8-piece impeller. Then drive the nails into the 2 wooden plates. String a row of sticks into a flat surface and fold the 4 sides of the filter. All their belongings were moved to Liuxia River. Put up a tripod. Secure to wooden plates with nails at one end. And use generators with wild leashes. A roll of sticks is arranged between 2 bars, forming a wild track chain. And tie 3 filters at intervals. He stuck pieces of bait in running water below. And at the other end of the rough wood, install an 8-leaf cage. Power generated by running water. We can convert kinetic energy into a computer. The new house has its own hydroelectric power station. The new house is electrified. Instant light. The feeling of a family is like Chinese New Year. But Lao Mo also missed another thing. That's through the rotation of the track chain. By the way, I harvested a batch of gluttonous silly fish. So they're hooked. He was attacked under the eaves by Lao Mo. The remaining few are the children's New Year's Eve dinner. He came to the bottom of the wheat in a flash. I wonder whose master is so lazy. If the wheat is ripe, don't come to harvest it quickly, who is not far away, generously pinched to the ear of golden wheat. After a meal of clubbing and flying in the wind, you get the rare wheat. This guy's growing rice in dry land. Always unexpected. He spotted 2 rough stones of the hemp head brain. Knock out 2 holes to make a set of wild graphite. It can actually grind delicate flour. Join the river without a year. Then pinch it into a tuft of baba. But what he did next was different. Suddenly pasted baba on a few wooden sticks. It's grilled like this, and it becomes a burrito. Add a few dried sashimi. The family had a wonderful campfire dinner. This is definitely a sanctuary you've never seen. The man hollowed out the inside of a cliff cave with his bare hands, not only making wild cement from tree bark, and installed bamboo shoots for the whole house. Create a warm harbor in a wild cave. Aniu, who is cosmopolitan because the Fursees are home, he saw the bare cliff at a glance, and decided to settle down halfway up the mountain. Because you can't fly over the eaves, he plans to meet the local tree brother first, show off his head damage skills. You make a sloppy ladder. With the ladder comes the height of life. Pick up the manuscript and hammer it at the mountain. Drive in a wooden stake with a string. They form a primitive compass. Draw the room plan. Next, become human. Shaped excavators dig inward with disdain. By the way, a 2-meter bed was dug out. Excess soil is thrown at the entrance of the hole at any time. He continued to draw a circle with wild compasses. It's worthy of the 18th generation of carving families. Look at this little round hole. It's even rounder than a modern compass would make it. He hasn't cut out to grooves to Yambian yet. What is this for? I saw him rubbing the wooden shoes with iron. There is a spark for a new life. Cut another spike. Burn the front end black. And it's ironed in this way to form a wooden spatula. The effect of impressing is better than the golden hoop. It works directly outside. Make a hole that connects the hole inside the hole. He can't take it. You can create all kinds of shapes in one go. Even the head of the bed is carved with a wall magazine, and the shape of the bottom of the bed is even more special. Cut out a long passage along the edge of the bed. What's so special about this design? I heard that this kind of tree brother is more expensive. There's often 1 kilogram per kilogram. After haggling with this tree brother, cut out different lengths. Then through the connection of bamboo shoots, made a high-priced workbench in seconds. That's a lot easier to do carpentry. You see, this kid doesn't use any cartridge at all, with a pair of vicious naked eyes. You can cut straight sheets. It's more standard than machine polish. Draw dividing lines on these plates. The mutual card slots formed wooden frames. He plowed the mud into the live mud. Then pour on the mountain spring water without a year. The mud ball that is kneaded out is very well behaved. Lying obediently in a bottle, in a wood, and suddenly insert dozens of logs. The formation of this platoon is confusing. It turned out that he made 2 molds, embedded a branch in the mold mud. After solidification and mold removal, it's like touching gold bricks. If you press the current gold price, Aniu can definitely buy a villa. He planed another heap of sturdy wood. It forms a mine in the open air, and then fully wrapped in mud, and pretend to draw brick after brick. It turned out to be a barbecue-type shallots, directly connected to the round hole in the room. This honeycomb mud block with the logs removed. If the grooves on both sides of the round hole, a furnace is officially formed. And the other 2 long mud blocks, properly stuck into the horizontal groove under the bed, waiting for the next division of labor. He came to the second-hand stone factory in a flash. Amoy for the promising stones. With 10 years of experience in tiling, easily knock out to standard stone slices, fit them perfectly into the grooves of the long mud blocks. A set of mobile double doors is formed. The remaining gaps are filled with stones and mud. This well-intentioned design, and it is the underbed heating system pioneered by Aniu, and they lit the fire underneath. Heat will spread in the closed channel. The whole bed becomes as warm as dawn by dawn. The sun is about to set. Aniu was hungry for 9 meals. With an ancestral sense of smell, I found taro with a radius of 10 miles. Grill them to maturity and grind them into corn. Pour on tomato juice. It's just a delicious taro pizza. Eat, drink, sleep in a new bed, thinking about the big plans for tomorrow. 6:66 in the morning, he sneaked into the jungle. Specially selected some dry bark. Look at the firewood on his back. Does it bring back fond memories of your childhood? However, these old barks are not used as fire, burned to ashes by him out of thin air, and he divided it up into sections. Began to demonstrate the craftsmanship of his exterminator family. In the blink of an eye, you weave a watertight cane web. Bind the four sides of the rattan net to the moldwood mine. We made a one-of-a-kind sieve. Then put it in the bark ash meridian. Shaking like crazy, you get a bunch of heavy ash. Add the mountain spring water according to the proportion like kneading dough. Knead out the mud balls with signs one by one. Put it on the fire and it's crunchy. Mix with fine soil. It became the exclusive cement of Anio. To prevent the stone from falling from the head in the middle of the night. It's not too early to meet his great-grandmother. Aniu applies a layer of cement to the whole house. The whole dental cavity is wrapped in silver, instantly a lot more imposing. The next operation will blind your eyes even more. He invited a group of tree brothers over, offered them exfoliation services, one by one. The polished light does not then with sharp eyes. Cut brother's shoe out of his straight body. This is the ultimate movement technique. Mr. Lubin will wake up with a smile when he sees it. He marked the plates. Further cut out the intertwined appearance. What is all this bare stuff doing? He found Big Brother Pine and Shanju. After tickling them, Brother Pine opened the purse generously. Give him a large pile of pine branches. This is a rare refining material. A wilderness man cannot be idle for a moment. Take advantage of the refining time. He gathered some blind grass and tied it to the dry cleaning. Seconds made a wild brush, but that's not enough. He tortured another cute log. Hollow him out. It becomes a cylindrical vessel, combined with the brush to create an automatic travel system. Poured with liquid pine oil to coat all the planks. It can have the effect of moisture-proof and mildew-proof. And these bamboo shoots and wood planks. It's the wooden floor of the whole house he misses. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. These planks are literally negotiable. It fits tightly with your eyes closed. If the size does not match, it will be demolished on sight. Look at the tight-fitting technology. If I had his skills, I have already won a beautiful daughter and I won't have to go on a blind date with Kaifeng Wang so many times. Although it is just a wild cave, but Aniu is also a particular man. Never treat yourself badly. The ceiling of the roof will also be covered with bamboo shoots. The floor is fully penetrated into the sawdust of the custom. Even if you run on the top of the mountain, the train will not fall off. Concocted in the same way, he spliced out a slab with a bamboo shoot structure. And then we put on a rotary shaft, stuck in the wall magazine by the bed. Can you guys guess what this is for? While the moon is dark, and it's time for the silly fish to come out for supper, there is absolutely no doubt about the way the carpenter fishes. Soon a few silly fish were staring. I saw him pull open the board to avoid publication. Turns into a folding dining table in seconds. Fill the fish with plum beans. A delicious grilled fish. Wake up from a dream. Today's project will be unprecedented. I saw this wild king come on stage. Just pose in the shape of a king character on the ground. Wangba's aura is undoubtedly exposed. Wawawa drills 5 holes at the connection. You see the standard plum blossom is incomparable. At first glance, he is a mahjong professional transfer. He enclosed the board mine into a field. And then we put a layer of wood on top, tightly reinforced with sawdust. Let them live forever. Is that so? A timber stone is visible to the naked eye. The rest of the questions are to fill in the blanks. He continued to use sawdust joining, surprisingly came up with a flip door. Fill a box perfectly. The so-called learning mathematics, travel the world, and chemistry. I saw him with the center of the sessile as the center. The end of the plank is covered with the center, and there's a wooden blanket on the other end. He crafted a wild compass. On a bumpy wood mine, draw a special circle. So easily along the arc line, cut out a round wooden door. It turns out that this is the door that perfectly matches his bridal chamber. Fully reinforce the door with wooden scorpions. Sign off one side of the auxiliary transfer. An open side door appears. Come here to witness the operation of Aniu's god. I saw him splicing the wooden board combination. Continue to use the compass method to cut out the corresponding rounded corners. You attach a handle and a rotary shaft. There's a stake at the bottom, and that creates a rotating side door. And make sure he has a beginning and an end. But this grand revolving door, it doesn't fit with this shabby ladder. With a bit of energy, of course, Miu will not give up. He cut the planks out of these fancy heads, then cut out for wooden boards of the same style according to the gourd painting school. The planks form a combination. Add a wooden strip in the middle. Dry wells along the edge with sawdust, and there's a sort of natural grass in between. He cut out a few short pieces of equal length wood, just enough to get stuck into the 2 sets of grooves. And then you start beating the sawdust. A decent ladder would have the appearance. And this is no ordinary ladder. It's a folded version that fits well. Just say this kid is not cool. It's no problem to pass it on to 3 generations like this. He cleaned up the square in front of the gate, put up this grand entrance staircase. It fits right in with the revolving door. But that's not all. He cut out a few small pieces of wood. Through delicate combinations, it actually formed a cylinder with a square in the circle. Tie a bow with a rope. Pour the burnt pine oil into. Wait until it cools and solidifies to untie. Get to chocolate candles. new home lit by candles. Suddenly there's a warm atmosphere. He chopped up pork belly, with seasonings, wrapped in onions and mushrooms, made into a unique filling. Mashed the potatoes into mashed potatoes. Realize another form of matter. I didn't expect this wild carpenter to pursue such a sense of ritual in life. He wraps the mashed potatoes in stuffing, fry golden crisp one by one, and then a thick tomato sauce. Don't mention how sour it is. After each dinner, start the heating system under the bed, collapse a folding ladder, close the revolving door. Even if a pack of wild wolves come smelling the fragrance, I can only look up at the mainstream of the gate, Arazi. Never seen such an awesome man. He came to the pristine wilderness with nothing. Not only does it build old iron in a unique way, he also built a strange shelter with his bare hands. Live a happy life with small bridges and flowing water. The old thread with only one big pair of underpants left. I fell in love with this low cave at a glance. I vowed to build a grand house here. First he had to increase the height of the space, have a person rattan hanging everywhere in the forest. I was fortunate to be his first assistant. After all, the ancestral family of 18 generations of exterminators. This man is 5 short and 3 with hands that are more dexterous than a woman's. You make a basket. The rest of the rattan is not wasted. Measure out 50 yards of tender feet. Hook with a delicate thumb. It goes back and forth to make a pair of soles. Twist out to shoelaces with rattan fibers. A pair of flying flip-flops came out. It's no less than luxury. He ripped off thousands of years of old bark. Pick it up with a treat girl. Seconds made a fan. At a glance, it is about to build an ancient fan. Layers of clay surround the blast chamber. Knock out a rotating base. Splash a stove next to it. The double ring one-piece stove is exactly the same. How do I get the tinder? He used a pair of vicious eyes. At a glance, I found the front and back of the small rough stones
Tapping
at the bottom of the river. Put on sticks and rattan ropes. Small sharp stones are installed to form a rotary drilling rig with a counterweight disc. If you add wooden blocks at both ends, it becomes easy press. The little friends will know. Put dead leaves underneath. Such a crazy spin. You can generate heat by friction and ignite dead leaves. With tinder, there is hope for everything. Install the antique impeller stove and spray flames in 6.6 seconds. And start smelting steel. This hidden place by the river. Soil lurking with iron bacteria. After he crushed the cinders, wrapped in iron bacteria, take out the mud balls one by one. Do a warm-up by the fire. Understand that everyone just by the burning of a few firewood can't produce temperatures over 1,000 degrees at all. Lao Zi has already made up his mind. He made a circle with mud. It houses a batch of firewood families, and then whoop in the mud all the way to the top. Light the firewood from above until the bottom hole smokes, and seal all the holes. This is the master's method of burning charcoal. With good charcoal, it is possible to practice excellent old iron. He put the mud ball into the 8 flavors true fire. 3-dimensional burning to 77-48 hours. A little iron pig is conceived in the carbon residue visible to the naked eye. Keep burning like this for 8 rounds. Harvested 108 small iron beads. And how to make iron tools next? Lao Zi's way will definitely surprise you. He turned to grayish clay. A pair of clever hands showed off the mud. In the blink of an eye, an exquisite pottery cup. If you think this is a drinking cup, then you are dead wrong. He adds more charcoal. Pour the little iron pig into a clay cup and stir fry it. This is going to stage a golden dragon show. After all, he is an art major transfer student. I saw him hammering out a square of mud. Quickly pull out the shape of a scimitar. It's a wild knife-making mold. And the small iron pillar in the pottery, it has turned into golden molten iron. Just strike while the iron is hot and pour it into the mud mold. I just heard the sizzling splash. A fiery red scimitar was born. Do you think this kind of iron-making method is handsome? But don't imitate that. It's not blistering at all. Get in touch with the Qing dynasty. An Aimu knife officially debuted. So, do the same thing. Carve out the shape of a chisel and hammer. A cup of fiery hot metal poured into 2 molds at the same time. One twin sibling is born. Hammer and chisel, to brothers, cooperate tacitly. You can completely knock on the mountain. With the blessing of Lao Tai, Lao Zi is much more relaxed, sitting leisurely on the ground as a general. If I had his skills, not until 35 years old and can't find a daughter-in-law. But these bear-like things, what is it going to do? I saw him put a dragon on a dragon. Now that's a little bit blunt. He made a few fishing artifacts. In fact, this is how you make a cage to deceive people. Sleep while the screws are still covered. Hammer them to pieces. Mix in the mud to make bait. This is the favorite food of silly fish. Less than half a day, I will wipe out the whole family in one go. The poor fish can only stare in a hurry. Lao Zi was hungry for 9 times and I heard my stomach growl when I saw the fish. A proper grilled fish. No salt, no oil. Just like this, one bite at a time. Ginger Wilderness lived a great life. With iron and silly fish, Lao Zi has the power to open up the world. He came up with a clever way to increase the sense of space in the house. Burn rocks directly with firewood. Burn them, wow drop, and beat it piece by piece with a mountain hammer. Forcibly raise the floor height by 8.88 centimeters, so you can flex your muscles. The first is the ground softening factory. A A pair of iron hands is completely unreasonable. Smeared the ground smoother than an eggshell. Then one turned and came to the creek. I saw pieces of gemstones facing the sky on their waiting for Lao Zi's visit. These natural stones, finally waiting for the reused stone carvings, turned into floor tiles for a mansion. Pieces are like negotiated, fits together seamlessly. Lao Zi's sense of happiness was born spontaneously. I had a daydream without lying in the pavilion. I think the small hammer is not awesome. He worked overtime again with an axe. Look at the foundation of this sketch. Definitely no joke. The same molten iron watering. A sizzling MI axe is hot forming. Wrap a domineering bolt handle with rattan rope death. Walking in the woods will make the tree brother tremble. Kung fu for a while. The tree brother with one card will lie down obedient, waiting for the master to assign work. And he goes. Kakaka. Strip brother shoe naked. One by one. The bamboo shoots can be perfectly fitted into a mining network. Cut a hole in the head of the bamboo shoot. This is not where the Scorpion King does his stunts. Just a scoop with the naked eye. You know how thick sawdust the hole needs. And this goes down into the cave and it drives up nail-like sawdust, connected to form a base that will not fall for 1,000 years. He measured the distance with his palm-sized hand, and I cut a pile of short logs. Each short log makes 2 holes. Hit to sawdust. Is he going to make a few stools? No. He measured it against the base like this. Fine to anchor points. Cut out the corresponding hole. This will make the perfect card root. Where there is an error of 0.1 millimeters, it's impossible to match so well. Use the same technique again. It's jammed in layers of different lengths of wood. Turns out he was building a wooden wall. This well-proportioned shape. This is an artist masterpiece. Around the corner, he also specially designed a kitchen. After all, 3 meals are hungry. Not the style of this wilderness boss. So, you do the same thing with the beam. Put up the door frame steadily. They're constantly attaching wood chips to the blocks, strung together like this. It forms a magnificent wooden door. It also comes with a sleek rotating shaft. The next rooftop construction, Lao Zi took a very special approach. He came to the creek in a flash. Wake up the sleeping stone. Use a stick as a ruler to tailor their clothes. Just cut out the standard squares. The strength of this side attack. Absolutely 10 years of tile stunning base. I saw him drilling a hole in the rock, and threw a cane rope. This is how you tie the knot with your hair. Just put a layer of tiles on the roof. For this narrow eaves. This is the most appropriate styling design. At this point, the entire cave shelter is almost complete. The hungry old crab quickly picked up the hammer. Pry open a mysterious tree hole. It turned out that there was a fat and thin tree worm hidden inside. This is a high-protein, low-fat meal. But one is not enough to plug the gap between. That doesn't stop the Scorpion King at all. I saw him click a few times. 18 R hits will be in hand. The fire is burning in the warm hut. Every time a slate roasts an R hit, you can lie down, waiting for the bird to wake him up at 6:70 in the morning. This deep-seated man suddenly became sexually aggressive, jumping into the pool and doing an early workout, even swinging on the water. So happy like a fairy. And the next operation, show the charm of the wild boss. He punched holes in a row of corsets, and then connected vertically and horizontally form a thing like a wooden boat. Is he going to make a ferry? Oh, no. He is going to erect wooden armors. They're going to build a bridge across the river. This way, it is very convenient to enter the new house. The so-called learning mathematics, travel the world with chemistry. This man cleverly uses the effect of the rope, saving the effort to build the bridge on the wooden piers. Continuously connecting the support beams through the wooden lay out rows of crossbars as a bridge deck behind the imposing railing. A purely handmade wooden bridge is perfectly completed. To celebrate the new house laundry classic, Lao Zi specially made a new wash basin. Oh, no. Fire not a wash basin. It turned out to be a plate of art. If discovered by the archaeological team, it's going to take years. A particular man is a particular man. Silly fish caught with a fishing artifact. It was a full plate, and arranged in the shape of a flower. Stealing peppers from someone else's house. No salt or oil. But this Shili Xiang can actually penetrate the screen. With a bouquet of wild flowers, added wild color fragrance. In the spring light of this small bridge and flowing water, Lao Zi is enjoying the comfort of his new home. Eat and drink, close the door. In a cramped shelter, I actually had a big dream. This is the ceiling of primitive technology. The man lived in the wild for 3 years with his bare hands. Not only built food with a pool, pheasants were also captured and fed to domestic, transforming a wilderness into an amusement park. The rainforest is nothing but trees. He likes the challenge of using local materials like this. It's to build a nest that can shelter from the wind. He first visited the axe gang on the mountain. It was easy to pass a ghost axe stone. He takes the ghost axe stone and fights the whetstone. After half a day of grinding sheep, when the rich stone axe has a tough look, and an intimate polishing of the blade with little rocks, the restaurant under the sun gradually revealed a cold light. He went to the forest to explain his purpose to Brother Tree Brother. With the restaurant in his hands, he didn't dare to say more. I can only let my brother sway. The restaurant in his hand obediently surrendered to him. The little brother has recruited a righteous tree brother. The hatchet was brought close to the hilt and landed. But first he had to polish a small chisel. Use him to make an opening for the tree brother of all wings. Small stone chisels are ground in minutes. He took a good size on the tree demon with an axe blade. With the painstaking cooperation of Brother Shi, the open hole surgery was very successful. The bent edge matches the perforated handle seamlessly. With super antiques and weapons, Brother, hurry up and start the nesting plan. He launched another onslaught on Brother Tree, incorporated more favorite building materials. Of course, the branches and bark were not spared. With a mouthful of steel teeth, pulling the bark as a rope for binding. He found two sturdy tree brothers who were facing each other for 3 meters. Connect them hand in hand with woven tree trunks, forming an unbreakable house structure. The other two corners are marked with 2 thick columns to stand guard. Especially let a few small stones accompany you deeply. He bound several tree brothers tightly with bark, enough to support 100 kilograms of weight. So the support of 8 pillars into big trees, interwoven into a solid whole house structure. The little brother especially lost a pull-up. 100 kilograms of flesh is no problem for the girder. He gathers a corset of reinforced curtains. The 2 ends are firmly attached. Bind a row of corsets to the beams. Arrange in an orderly manner. Build a solid wood bed with a width of 1.5 meters and a length of 3 meters. Fresh solid wood is full of elasticity. It even feels like Simmons. This inevitably reminds my brother of his daughter-in-law at home. Next step, the rooftops of wild grass grow like crazy, with dripping tips. Moisture-proof, shaded and cool. This is a natural good material for building a house. How many times does he just get it to bundle more than a meter of fir and organize them into 20 little pieces? He took advantage of Brother Panda's stole some fresh bamboo, throw away the bamboo pieces, and grow the bamboo strips used to bind thatch into strings. He crossed the thatch roots with long bamboo strips. Keep them close together. Cross the card position through small bamboo pieces on both sides. It's all connected. Ensure that the roof will not fall apart in the face of level 8 winds. At this point, the whole house and boat have been loaded, just waiting for the thatch cover to be in place. Of course, there is no sloppy relationship between thatch and the little brother tied it with a bark rope. The sky attic was built in half a day. The hard-working brother can't wait to lie flat on the new bed. Enjoy the bumpy pleasure brought by the special Simmons. Maimei had a daydream. Wake up, my brother is refreshed and has a new idea. Take advantage of Big Brother Panda's lunch break. Stole a few more bamboo. He cut it into bamboo slices and thin strips with food aids. Slightly twist the thin strips into a rope shape. And then, you start with 3 pieces of bamboo, creating a little rice. The bottom is interwoven with thin strips. Turns out he was going to weave a bamboo basket to fetch water. After the bottom is woven, he first connects them and the whole skeleton stands up. And the rest of the weaving just becomes a simple fill in the blank. Brother's stomach is growling. Hurry up and take the bamboo basket to the ground. This is really a piece of fairyland. Skewers of cassava, like a 1,000-year-old ginseng buried in the ground. There are also fresh wild oranges by the mountain. Brother's rations and vitamin C basically don't have to worry about. He drilled wood to drive out ignite firewood pile, save the campfire, and roast. It seems that my brother loves this barbecue flavor. Maybe he's really hungry. The plain cassava actually tasted ecstasy. After tasting a campfire dinner alone, to prevent small animals from stealing food, he placed a bamboo basket with cassava on the bedside. Sleep peacefully with yourself. Because of the blessing of the bonfire, he doesn't have to worry about the sneak attack of the boar and wolf. After a hard day of building a house, my brother slept shirtless all night. The wooden bed of the heart is really good for sleep. When I woke up in the morning, my brother started to ask Brother Shu to help dry the stakes, preparing to expand the property. Anyway, Brother Shu has enough materials. He connected 6 grains to yesterday's main house, getting ready to build a poker house. Go ahead and bundle up the thatch and cover the roof. One room is hairy when you listen to it. I haven't drunk healthy water for today's. The little brother thought of a way to boil some Chinese boiling water. He summoned a fat bamboo from the mountains. Dispose the fat bamboo from the bamboo joint. Form 5 bamboo tubes with openings above and close below. He put 4 of them in the mud and grilled them on the back rack. Let the top of the bamboo tube be carbonized under soil protection. As a moisture-proof and mildew-proof kettle, he carbonized and sanded the mouths of 3 bamboo tubes tied together like bombs. It's a connected bucket. There is also a handle around the top. He carried the 1-piece bamboo tube to the river. Fill with water, enough to meet your daily drinking water needs. 5 bamboo tubes each have a division. He asked a bamboo tube with a carbonized opening. Pour into the river. Let him be responsible for drying the water inside with a fire. Taking advantage of the practice of boiling, the little brother came to the rainforest. Want to treat yourself? He plucked some herbs to strengthen his body. Add to water and boil together. A quarter of an hour. The divine water will be boiled in 1 knife. This bamboo tube herbal water is really amazing. After leaving the fire, it still boiled for a long time without stopping. Wait until the water finally quiets down. The little brother immediately replenished his and poured the remaining water into a separate bamboo tube. This is the portable thermos he brought to the construction site. The little brother took the bamboo basket and stepped onto the bamboo started the afternoon overtime work. He continues to be presumptuous. Carrying back a pile of corsets with reinforced curtains is to bring a thatched front room at home and lay a layer of wild solid wood floor on the ground. And some boats on top. The perimeter is connected with crosswood to form a frame structure. There is also a special window left in the middle of the front looking out at the scenery. The cyan thatch bundled a few days ago. Tortured by my brother, it turned gray. The little brother guides them to their positions. But they look kind of listless. The thatch on the top is drooping, and the head is uneven, blocking the view from the window. Brother incarnate as Mr. Tony. Hold up the sharp scissors stone. Made a bangs quick cut for the thatch. Sure enough, this beauty technology enhanced the entire appearance by more than 1 notch. He added a Dharma Guardian corset to the kitchen outside. Standard stand at attention. Even if the hut boils water, It has the tone of the kitchen. 2 days of effort. The little brother replaced the single room with a big house. Solid wood bed and solid wood floor complement each other. The whole thatched hut has the smell of home. The house is built. My brother wants to have some fun. Early in the morning, he picked up a white bone from the woods. Take a shower and get a proper body test. Found to be a piece of high-quality material for fish hooks. He took all the guys around him who were eating. Drilling holes with handheld chickens. Charcoal with fire sticks. With sharpening friction. Day and night grinding. Finally, the iron rod was ground into an embroidered white domino fish hook came out of nowhere. I really want to praise the persistent brother. With the hook throughout the rod. He grilled the thin bamboo poles to make them straighter. Weave a delicate fishing line with rattan. Tie the fishing line in a fancy dead knot on the hook. Guaranteed to catch a 10 kilograms herring. And the hook is still online. The fisherman can't wait to set off with his fishing rod. He hooked the earthworm and put it on the line. Wait less than 3 minutes. The silly fish is hooked. It seems that this white bone brand fishing rod is with fish. Less than half a day. For wild mandarin fish successfully landed. Taken away from their hometown by their brother. Strung up in a string and hung in Fishman's new kitchen. It seems that the satisfied brother. You can order a drink in the evening. The song and dance are flat.